Okay? Okay. This is the People Station Radio 90.5 FM and Heartbeat Radio 104.1 FM. Sister stations coming together, and that is because it is time for UTC's Investment Frequency. We are back. If you've not heard this program before, let me tell you that it is very important because we're talking about our well-being financially, especially as we move towards retirement. No, it's not an old people's show. I want everyone to understand that. I know when people hear retirement, they think, oh boy, here I go, walking stick, back bending too much. But no, we're not, right? Lisa and Rodney are in studio with me. Guys, you all agree, right? Retirement starts
very young.
At any time, right?
At any time, yeah.
So today we're going to talk about the IRUE and the URF.
Yes.
We have to break down these acronyms. I'm not great with the alphabet when the letters get jumbled that way. So it's about the UTC's Individual Retirement Plan and the Universal Retirement Plan. Because last week we talked about Pension Plus. So I know that you all are giving us all of the options. I want to start with Lisa. Lisa, working woman, mom. I'm sure you have all the troubles we have. We have to go home, we have to cook, we have to look after the kids. Rodney, I know the dads have to do that too, right? But
yes.
somehow the ladies get a little more stuck with balancing the family life, and we have to also look at how we're investing. Because I think sometimes we see the value in it more. That maternal instinct kicks in. So why is the Individual Retirement Unit Account, which is the IRUE, for the person who wants the most out of their money?
So the IRA is an equity-based fund. The meaning it's invested into stocks and shares. So one of the best ways of acquiring wealth is through investments into stocks and shares, equity assets, and the IRA does just that. It has a very powerful combination of investments in its portfolio. It's under one of our flagship funds, the Growth and Income, and it is in its very nature that it allows for us who invest in these type of investments to make higher returns. It's really designed for long-term investing, and we're talking retirement, and retirement is a long-term type investment goal. It gives you, we have a local saying that it gives our money extra horsepower. And what it really does is really allows for us to beat inflation. So as the years go by and cost of living increase, this particular fund gives us the ability to beat inflation. This is one of the best investment funds that we have for individuals who might be an entrepreneur. You don't have, your company may not be investing into your retirement. It's something that you can do on your own to help supplement what you will get at retirement from other sources, inclusive of your NIB pension.
Okay, well, I know you all have the experts to understand, which parts of the stock market to put that into. People say they on the stock market and they made all of this money. Some people don't, but at the end of the day, you all are the ones with the experts who will understand how to make that money grow in a fund like this. So Rodney, for our listeners who are still, weighing in the retirement options, explain to us what is the Universal Retirement Fund, the URF, and how is that different from what Lisa spoke about with the IRUE?
So the URF is my favorite fund. So I just wanted to state that. What I like is it's a modern day plan. It's a modern workers plan, meaning you have control over what you put into the fund. So there's no commitment. Unlike the IRU, you have to make a consistent payment into the account. The URF allows you, or the Universal Retirement Fund, allows you to put whatever you want. So, for example, a businessman, you may have a tough month this month, so you may not put. But next month, you did very well. So you can choose to put more. Like me, I annually look at my fund, all my retirement plans, and I try to add to it on an annual basis. The URF is one of those that I definitely add every year towards, because the growth is very good on the fund, and allows my money to grow towards retirement. Um, Again, I stated you can contribute anytime you want, so that is what you have to look at. Um, it and it's portable, so that's the important thing. So even if I move to another institution or you go anywhere you go, you could work with your plan. It's yours. It's your personal plan. It's tied to your last employment. That's all.
So it offers a great deal of flexibility.
Correct.
From what you're saying,
Correct.
which I think is so important, because you're absolutely right, Rodney. People, things change, circumstances change, and in today's world, you have to have that flexibility. Right. So I understand why it's your favorite plan.
I know flexibility is freedom. It allows you to be able to move. You're not tied in. So even if you have a bad year, I don't add the next year you do. But again, you as an individual need to remember, it's my retirement. You want to be able to make sure to consistently pay. So while you may have a bad month or a bad year, you continue to pay into your retirement, because what you pay into it is what you get at the end. So if you know your retirement and a comfortable retirement is what you want, remember that retirement picture in your mind, look at that picture and make sure you're meeting that goal.
Yeah,
and that is what you have to do.
This sounds like something I need to invest in.
But we can definitely talk after if you wish.
I think we should, actually. Yeah. For those of you who may have just joined us, this is UTC's Investment Frequency on the People's Station 90.5 and on Heartbeat Radio 104.1. And in studio we have Lisa and Rodney, who are explaining all of this to us and breaking it down. I want you all to know retirement, it is very important. You have to start the planning now. So, Lisa, when I think about this, because now I'm thinking I need to invest in this, right? The first question that comes to my mind is, okay, what would stop me from doing this? What would be my barrier to entry, for want of a better phrase? Do I need to have a huge lump sum to open a retirement fund with UTC, or can I have something that is basic and starter? Tell me about it.
Well, one of the misconceptions about investing and investing for your retirement is the misconception that you have to have a whole lot of money to make an investment into these funds, and the reality is you do not. What this allows is for you to build your investment muscle at a very young age. You can start at 18. To have an investment account at UTC, you must be 18 and over, and of course for to have it in your name, because you can't have an account as a child, but it will have to be held in the name of your parent. But for the retirement funds, if you want to have it in your name, you can start as early as 18. And remember, one of our last episodes we would have shared that one of the benefits of starting early is time. So no barriers. Once you start at 18, you can start the fund at 18, and you start small incremental payments into the fund. You can do that by discipline. So one of the key factors in investing is discipline, is building that discipline that allows you to make consistent payments, and they can be small incremental payments. You change a job and you make more money, you increase your payments. But the critical thing for investing towards your retirement is discipline and consistency. So no barriers, start small, and then you can always increase your contributions as your salary changes.
Okay, so I want to come back to that, but a reminder for our listeners that if you have a question, you can WhatsApp us at 364-9050 or 338-4288, because UTC will be responding to all of the questions, and you can pay attention to our social media feeds to get all of the answers. So, Lisa, you said an 18-year-old. So, do I need a utility bill plus my ID to open this?
You definitely need your identification. If you're 18, you can use a bank statement if you have a bank account to provide proof of address. Or if you live with your parent and you don't have a utility in your name, your parent can, in fact, give a confirmation of residence letter that says that you live at the residence. So that's all you really need. You need your ID, proof of income, and proof of address. If you are not employed and you're a student, of course, we don't expect a proof of income.
Okay, well, obviously. But let's talk a little bit about changing funds because you have some great options, right? What if I start with Rodney's favorite, right? The URF, and then I decide at some point in my life I want to switch. Can I switch from that to the IRA? Is there a way for me to do that?
Well, I would say you can switch to any fund you want to go into. And the beauty about the unit trust is you have access to your funds, you could be able to reassess. And as I said before, on an annual basis, everyone should look at their retirement, whether they're reassessing the portfolio, where their investments are, to make sure it's being invested and getting a good return. I wouldn't tell you to take out the funds from the URF, leave that there. And if you were paying, let's say, 2,000 or 500 to that account, you want to start the IRA, you can now add there. And at retirement, you could pool the two funds together, and then that now is invested to pay you an income towards your retirement. So I would say you could always supplement it, or you may have gotten promoted, so you now could afford 2,000 a month towards it. So you have 500 in the URF, you could put 1,500 into the IRA. So whatever plan you choose at that moment, we are there to help you make those decisions. We're there to hold your hand as you go along your retirement journey. Unit Trust is not here just to make you buy a plan and that's the end of it. We don't see you again. We're here to build that relationship. See you move from building your house to your kids going to school and you retiring. We're here to have that whole relationship with you, that lifetime relationship.
And one of the other things, Kieran, I would like to add to what Rodney is saying, one of the things that is critical that these plans allow and facilitate is your ability to transfer wealth by placing a beneficiary on these accounts. So you can in fact put a beneficiary on these accounts, and upon death, if you, God forbid, and you die before you reach retirement age, all of these funds are given to your beneficiary and you will not need to produce letters of administration. You have access to all the funds upon the beneficiary, that is. So you can in fact assign a beneficiary to these accounts, which is important for wealth transference. And we always encourage, at UTC, we encourage our investors to ensure that you also secure your investments for your beneficiaries by including them as part of the plan under our beneficiary facility.
Lisa, thank you for sharing that with us, because I think that's one of the things that a lot of people have concerns about. Can they rest easy? What will happen if the unthinkable should occur? So thank you for sharing that. So I'm sure that a lot of people want to get more information at this point. So Rodney, where do they go? Where do they start?
Well, they could visit any one of our 9 UTC investment centers and agencies, where you'll have that one-on-one discussion that what I spoke about, start that relationship. Or if you don't want to come in and you don't have time, you could always visit our website, which is www.ttutc.com, right? And there's all the information there. You could leave a message and someone will get back to you. You also have our social media platforms, so you could DM us through any one of them, and someone will get back to you. You could also call us, 624-8648, and again, we'll reach out to you. Remember, setting up a standing order today is important towards your retirement, so that you could become retirement ready.
Words of wisdom.
Definitely.
So I want to thank you, Rodney, and I want to thank Lisa and of course our partners at Unit Trust Corporation for taking the time to share this information. It's in the best interest of everyone there who wants to ensure their financial security. Yes. And listeners, this is the People's Station Radio 90.5 FM and Heartbeat Radio 104.1, radio for women and the men who love them. And you have been listening to UTC's Investment Frequency.